What's up, guys? I'm back like I never left. So Christian mentioned in the interview saying that Bartholomew had the whole direction idea for the enemy music video, alright? He was like, let's have it so Ekko and Powder's relationship can actually get explored as kids, you know what I mean? Like, show their friendship, show their bond. And let me ask one question. Why didn't you put this in the show, huh? This is something that needs to be in the show, not something that some people aren't going to look at. Let me tell you one thing. I watched the music video. It was fire, right? All these scenes were fire. But why didn't you put this in the show? I'm not going to lie. We need a season 3 to see all this again. Alright, we need season 3 to really go into their, you know what I mean, go into their bond as kids, because they missed all that in that first act. There was a more specific question that the Christian tried to be a little subtle with. Oh, yeah, I know Jinx called Ekko the boy savior, but does everybody else call him that? He was like, I don't know if everybody else call him that, but that definitely describes what he really is. And let me tell you what, she already knew. And then Alex was like, oh yeah, I'm so glad he took that careful approach, because there's a lot to the story that hasn't been told, because they gotta start ducking and dodging some of these questions, because some of this stuff can be told in the future. You already know what this means, huh? I need a season 3 right now, bro. I know they're trying to get Nox and all that, but I need a season 3. I'm not gonna lie to you, I need NEED a season 3, bro. Then Chris wanted to talk about episode 7. There was another scene in episode 7 that unfortunately or fortunately didn't make the cut, because it would have made the episode too long. And let me tell you one thing, this scene right here that he's talking about would have made this episode too long. I don't care. It would have made it longer, but we need a longer, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, bro. The reason why I'm so worked up is because this is the scene where Ekko went to go save Powder from Silco's lair when they were younger, presumably. And this is the reason why Jinx calls him the boy savior later on that episode, which would have made so much sense, right? It wouldn't have been, oh yeah, he saves everybody, so yeah, he's called the boy savior. No, they would have had a scene in the beginning that would have fleshed out why she called him the boy savior, which would have had multiple different meanings. You know what I mean, bro? And it looks like this part is supposed to be saved for a later part of the series, but you know what that means. Season 3. I don't care, bro. Delusion. I don't care. Delusion means great thoughts, bro. Alright? You can be delusional, but guess what? That means you have an imagination, which means you can bring on some more thoughts. Let me stop, right? In the end, though, Christian and Alex teased that despite the cut, we can expect more. And they said, and I quote, and I don't know. Hopefully, we can explore it at some point in the future. You know, it was really cool, bro. But yeah, just wanted to make sure not to ruin their evening by not telling you anything substantial about this. But you know, there's some more. And then Alex said there's a tidbit. Hey. Then Reed Shannon. If you don't know Reed Shannon, I don't know where you are, bro. Ekko's voice actor, we already know how he is, bro. He was reposting all this TimeBomb content, right? And he said, to be honest, I like that Jinx kind of crazy. Oh, whoa, slow down. That's a whoa. I mean, whoa. I'm telling you, this dude, I'm not reading all that. But hey, he kind of smooth though. Amanda Overton, she's one of the little writers. She was like, oh yeah, I mentioned one in the flashbacks and saying that it might be something that they want to do in the future. And let me tell you one thing, alright? If they make a season 3, which I'm losing hope, but guess what? That hope is still rising. You know why I might be losing the hope? It's also rising, consistently rising while I'm losing it. So it's like the equilibrium, but the rising portion is like right there. You know what I mean? And they better use it. She said she might use in the future, so Riot Music also posted a Grammy illustration which featured Ekko and Ari as True Damage and KD8 representatives. However, Jinx's selfie with them was a nice surprise. Let me tell you why. Because Jinx is like, look at Ekko in the background, look at Ari, look at them, look at Ekko for real though. That's what I'm talking about. Look at Ekko. That's what I'm saying, baby. That's what I'm saying, bro. But it's interesting that both Ekko and Jinx have small references to their Arcane self. Jinx still has her blue eyes, and Ekko poses with his famous hoverboard, baby. The post was liked by Christian Link, Arcane's creator as well. If you zoom in a little closer to the thing, if you zoom in a little closer to the pattern on Jinx's clothes, it's also the True Damage's group emblem. But if you really break it down, analyze it a little bit more, break it down, pull apart the threads, put on your colorblind glasses, you know what you will see? That is yellow and purple. And you know what else? You know who else is known for his yellow and purple colors, huh? You just take a wild guess, huh? Nobody else but Ekko. Look at this, bro. This is what I'm talking about. You see the way she cheesing, bro? Look at the way Ekko is, or he's in the background just smiling, just look at him, bro. He's a model, and look at her posing for the picture too. Oh my gosh, W. You know, Christian retweeted an art with hashtag TimeBomb. Whoa. You know what? I'm just gonna keep that in. Alright. He retweeted an art with hashtag TimeBomb hashtag. Who the freak says this, bro? Why don't you write it like this? That's why it mixed up my brain, because my brain is too slow and too small to really interpret and autocorrect that. Alright, the autocorrect feature in my brain didn't even really respond to that. You can tell you why? Because I just can't, because I can read, but I couldn't pick apart the hashtag TimeBomb from the other hashtag, which threw me off. You know what? Now I'm rambling. For this, he retweeted only an Ekko and Powder art back in early November, so it was a pleasant surprise to see that one of the Arcane creators went back to appreciating content, which doesn't hide a shift intention, because I'm not gonna lie, nobody retweets a hashtag TimeBomb without knowing what the hashtag TimeBomb means, baby. We all know what that means. Now, May 2022, Amanda. We already know Amanda Overton, one of the best. Oh, what are the top tiers? Confessed in her interview that TimeBomb fight was her favorite fight scene in the entire show. Besides all the credits for unique visuals for episode 7 Firelight's introduction and Ekko vs Jinx were given to 4T's creativity. But alright, you know what? I'm gonna add my own interpretation to this, okay? See, we already got this is the TimeBomb archives thing, right? The TimeBomb stuff, TimeBomb. But let me tell you one thing, alright? The reason why it was her favorite thing, let me tell you why. Oh, it says because it mimics something of their childhood. The childhood that they didn't show us. You know what? You gotta watch a music video to find out their childhood. So guess what? If they would put that in the show, man, you don't even understand, bro. That bond would have been even closer. People would understand that bond even more. But the reason why this is her favorite, because she was remembering about the flashback scene that they didn't put into the show for some odd reason. The part that I want to see the entire time, the part that I wanted in season 2. But guess what? Now they're gonna put it in season 3, maybe. Look, see, I have hope because they forgot to put that scene in. So guess what? They're gonna make a season 3. They're gonna top it up, make another season 4. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, season 2 is just these two seasons, but even longer. Boom, right? But yeah, oh yeah, they're gonna do all this, right? And the reason why she likes it so much, because she remembered that, and remembered how she remembered the face Jinx made the Ekko on the bridge. I might put a picture right here, I might not. You know what? I'm probably not. I don't feel like doing that. But yeah, she's probably thinking about it. Oh yeah, this is why it's my favorite scene. You see the way Ekko was hesitating? Remember the childhood? Then think of it. In her head, she was thinking of the flashback while this was happening. When this part plays, it's like a flashback of their two childhood, them jumping on the bed, all that. Coming to fruition. And then right while she's looking at him, she sees a small Ekko. While he's looking at her, he sees a Powder, and that's why he hesitates to fight. And then next scene, right, she has the grenade in her hand. Before she takes the clip off the grenade, the pin off the grenade, she sees his young face flickering back to the present him, right? So let me tell you one thing. In August, Jinx's and Ekko's game designer tweeted about Ekko's old art, which if you play any other games besides League of Legends, that's their ultimate ability, the most powerful ability in the game, right? Which allowed him to grab somebody and pull them back in time with him. But you know who they use as a demonstration? We might be looking too much into this. You might be a little delusional. But you gotta be a little delusional to be able to think for real, right? They use Jinx. And it's kind of funny that they use Jinx. Funny that Jinx served as a demonstration model. I'm not gonna lie. Funny that Jinx served as a demonstration model. I read that straight off the thing. So I'm not taking credit for that. Actually, I am taking credit from whoever did this, because now I'm the source. All right, they're no longer the source. I'm thinking all this myself, 100%. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Wait, August is the name. I said in August. I'm sorry, August. Nothing was in you. Ooh, whoa. But August wasn't the only one. Looks like Riot was very fond of the bridge scene. That's why Jinx is Ekko's main opponent appeared in the official skills demonstration video for the Wild Rift as well. I'm not gonna lie, they spelled appeared wrong. And then Ekko finally joined Wild Rift. They made a little trailer for him. But you wanna know what was in the background of the trailer? Jinx's presence, bro. Little hints of Jinx's graffiti presence, you know what I mean? And while Ekko was falling, you know, he was running away from the pursuers, and he was very confident. But then his expression changed. You wanna know what is coincidental? The second his expression changed, Jinx's monkey graffiti was passing by. Think about that, bro. It literally softened the second that it came through. I might sound a little delusional, right? I might sound a little delusional, but delusion creates ideas, right? But if I keep making ideas, this thing's gonna be like 45 minutes long, and I don't know if I can export that big of a video. So we're just gonna stop it right here. Wall riff wasn't the only time that Jinx's graffiti popped up while Ekko was falling. This also happened back in 2020, okay? Let me tell you one thing, bro. And then ever since then, the quantity of Jinx hints and Ekko content only increased, bro. When Ekko fell into the little trash stuff, bro. Wait, actually, this wasn't trash. Is this when he was fighting for the first time when he got the little Z drive? Graffiti aside, Jinx also left her monkey bomb and her classic grenade this time. So let me tell you one thing. She was like, here, Ekko, if you ever need this, use this. Even if you don't have that Z drive with you. W. Wait, real question though. If he picks the thing up, right? If he picks the bomb up and he has it with him and he goes back 4 seconds, would the bomb be there? You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure everything with him still stays with him. Like, I know his injuries and stuff stay with him. So if he grabs something and puts it close to him and then boom, goes back 4 seconds, does the thing on the ground duplicate? Because if that's the case, because if we really use really retrospect, yeah, if we use our really imagination, if we use information from the show, we would know, or information in general. Anytime Ekko gets injured, his clothes and stuff still stay the same whenever he's using the Z drive. So I think the Z drive gets a little aura around him. So if he's holding something and he uses it, the thing won't go back. It will stay in his hand, but it would be like in his original place. You know? So maybe if we really use our minds for real, he could duplicate things. That's a W. Unless whenever he picks something up, it just doesn't be there anymore. It's just gone. But if that's the case, he's not actually going back 4 seconds. He's going back 4 seconds, but he's not going back 4 seconds at the same time. He's not going back to the exact 4 seconds he was just at, which wouldn't make sense because I'm pretty sure whenever he goes back 4 seconds, everything stays the same. So if he picks something up and goes back 4 seconds, if he goes back before he picked it up, it would be on the ground, but also be in his hand at the same time. You know, this is a really long ramble. So let me stop. So let's go back a little bit. Speaking of grenades, Ekko used a trick Jinx could be proud of. He used a pink explosion, and that pink explosion made the parallel even more obvious. Because when does Ekko ever use a pink explosion, huh? He's always blue. He uses the little Z drop. He uses all that stuff. He never uses the pink explosion. Let me tell you one thing. The delusion, no, not even delusion. The imagination tells me the fact. The facts tell me the facts. You know what I mean? The hints tell me that this is true. One of the drafts for Ekko's key art illustration demonstrated that Jinx is still indeed a part of his life, even though their game is rather dangerous. The boy just grins happily, clearly having fun. It's called Ekko playing with Jinx. W, bro. What, is she shooting at him? It doesn't matter, bro. It might be dangerous, but this is the game they played when they were kids. So guess what, bro? They're having fun, and that's where I'm gonna end this one, bro. That was nice.